Hi, it's Sharon from sharonobrien.co.uk, helping women harness their happiness by creating harmony in their energies. Now, a large part of my coaching is based around using archetypes. And some of you may know about archetypes, some of you may not. So I thought I'd do this quick video just to kind of explain the different types of archetypes, what archetypes are, what kind of impact they have on your life, and the ones that I use specifically in my coaching. Now, archetypes, they're not a new phenomenon. It may be that you've kind of heard about them more recently, and there are different kind of archetypes for lots of different things. I've seen quite a lot on social media. There's lots of coaches talking about money archetypes or love archetypes, career archetypes. Um, Strength finders is kind of a version of different archetypes. Talent dynamics, that's another one as well. And basically, they're kind of like personality quizzes, and they help to describe characteristics in a way that helps us understand ourselves, how we work, and the best ways of using our strengths and our characteristics to help us move forward in our lives. But they're not a modern phenomenon. Plato first identified them like, a gazillion years ago. And since then, they've kind of popped up, they've kind of peaked and troughed in popularity, like most things do. But most recently, I guess it'd be Carl Jung who kind of really pulled them together and created something really tangible and understandable about archetypes. So, archetypes basically, if I really bring it down to absolute basics, is a set of characteristics that are easily known, easily defined, no matter where you live, what your culture is, your religious beliefs, your upbringing, your social position, your financial position, anything like that. It's just kind of a set of characteristics that we would all identify. So, for example, if I said to you, one of the archetypes is a nurse. So if I said, tell me about the characteristics of a nurse, you would come up with very similar words that I would. There will be some differences, obviously, depending on your experience of a nurse and my experience of a nurse. But, the kind of the words, caring, compassionate, friendly, patient, skilled, knowledgeable, professional, all of those words would probably come up. So there are literally thousands of different archetypes, and there is not one list. I've looked. There's not one list of them all. And to be honest, you don't need to know all of the different ones. You just need to kind of have an overview on the ones that show up most in life generally. So the archetypes form the basis of many of our preconceptions about people and the job they do. And they act as one of our biggest filters on life and create the reality that we live in. And they also help us determine what's right and wrong. So if you think of the archetype of a nurse, for example, with all their patience, their skill, their knowledge, their empathy, their honouring life, their dignity, it feels really uncomfortable when you hear about a nurse who's killed their patients. It's really uncomfortable because it shocks us, because that is completely incongruent with our understanding of what a nurse is. So you can feel personally let down by someone when they don't live up to the characteristics of an archetype that you've attached to them. So this is the power of archetypes, right? This is the kind of power of having that perception about these filters that we look on life. You've probably got perception about how a coach is supposed to look and act and live. I may not live up to that. I probably don't. But that's okay, because that's just your perception. If you can widen your perception and let the kind of almost like the rules of the archetype go, then you have a much rounded experience, and it's a much more fulfilling experience as well. So the archetypes can really be a great place to start for inspiring and motivating us to do something greater, to leave a legacy of some type, to be a better version of ourselves. And we can use these archetypes to develop patience, to develop knowledge and skills, to treat each person with dignity and respect. So there are really positive aspects to the archetypes, but there are ones that also come, well, all of them really come with attributes that we don't really want. So just as everything in life, there's good and there's bad, there's positive and there's negative. And, this does include the archetypes as well. So I work with my clients with 5 specific archetypes. And when we talk about them, I refer to them as empowering archetypes because they have some really great, strong, empowering characteristics. But just with anything, they also have their shadow side. And these are the traits that we would not want to emulate, that do not help us. They're always going to be there. They're always going to be there in the background. But part of the work is to recognize when that shadow side is starting to appear and be able to consciously kind of experience it, feel it, see it, hear it, and be able to consciously go, okay, this is coming up. Why is this being triggered? And be able to change the behavior. And this is massively powerful and can be completely life-changing. When you have a specific kind of response to something and you don't like that response, to actually be able to narrow that down, really dig into that and understand where it's coming from, so that the next time that something happens that would have triggered that same response that leaves you feeling guilty or ashamed or embarrassed, you can actually stop it and consciously think, no, I'm not doing that, I'm going to do this instead. So let me just very, very quickly go through the 5 archetypes that I work with my clients. And if I was ever to be lucky enough to work with you, then I'd be going through this with you as well. So let's take, for example, the Queen. Now this kind of same format follows all the archetypes. I'm going to start with the Queen. She's one of my favorite archetypes. So in her true state, in her harmonized state, she is calm, serene, and dignified. She's able to set clear boundaries with kindness, and she looks after her realm with great compassion. But if she gets out of control, if she doesn't get her needs met and she's not functioning well, she can turn into a drama queen, a completely self-centered, spoiled brat. Now, I've known a lot of drama queens in my life. I've had managers that have, I could kind of use that title on. I've gone into it quite a few times in the past. My male partner goes into drama queen. So this is nothing to do with gender, okay? This is just like energy types and archetypes and characteristics. You could swap queen for king and you're still going to get the same result. So we just have to be aware that if that kind of behavior is coming through, then something's triggering it, but we can choose to change the behavior. So the mother archetype is another one. Now it's really important with this one that it has no bearing on whether or not you're a biological mother. I don't have children through choice. I still have a mother archetype. It doesn't matter on your experience with your mother or your mother figure, or as you're a mother. This is about the true essence of the archetype, the true energy of it. So the mother archetype is filled with unconditional love and acceptance, a safe place for people to go, for you to go yourself. You can share your fears and worries with the mother archetype and you just get a big hug and get told everything's going to be okay, you're perfect just as you are. So the mother archetype will hold somebody and inspire them to be greater than they believe they ever could be. But if that mother energy, that archetype is being suppressed because of past experience or belief, then the mother archetype can become distant. She can become manipulative, neglectful even, and hurtful. So again, this isn't about, oh, well, the mother archetype is wrong because she can become manipulative, or the queen archetype is wrong because she can be a drama queen. I don't want to go there. It's about the harmony in them. So it's about understanding, like, when does that drama queen kick in? When does the neglectful mother kick in? And what can we do about it? Now, the other archetypes that I work closely with are the sorceress, the warrioress, and the lover. And they all have their positive and negative sides as well. Now, when these archetypes get out of alignment, when they're out of harmony, it's usually because their basic needs are not being met. If this is not something that you've heard of before about having your basic needs met, then I go and have a look at my video, The 6 Foundations to a Happier Life. And also there's a blog on the website, the same name, and that will give you a little bit more of an insight into the needs and how important they are. Now, if you feel that you're acting out, if your behaviour is not as you want it to be, if you feel that kind of in a cycle of this happens and I do this and I feel that, and then this happens and I feel this and this happens, then it's because your needs are not being met. So go and have a look at that video, put your needs in place, and you'll see some instant results. You also may feel some resistance to some of these archetypes. For example, the lover and the sorceress. You know, these words can be quite emotive. And it's because in our world we have connotations with these words. You know, we have hundreds of stories warning us against the dangers of many types of archetypes. We've got several decades of Hollywood creating caricatures of these beautiful energies, and also our own experiences that, you know, create how we respond to them. Now, the mother can be really emotive, especially if your experience of being a mother or your relationship with your mother isn't great. But the archetypes themselves have nothing to do with any of that. That's just our take on them. The archetypes are the pure essence of that energy, and it's really important to remember that. With the lover archetype as well, you may feel that kind of sexuality and sensuality is somehow dangerous, or it would lead you to be unsafe. And, you know, again, it's because a lot of our media has painted women that live in their sexuality and sensuality as being highly manipulative, highly demanding, sleeping their way to the top, being over the top sexually, you know, sleeping around, you know, all these things. And we've been told these things are all bad. But it doesn't mean that you have to shut that down. It doesn't mean you have to pretend it doesn't exist at all. Again, it's about the harmony. With the Queen, you know, you might have had a boss who's a complete drama queen, a complete bitch of a queen. But that doesn't mean that you can't lead from a place of calm, dignified energy as the Queen. Just because they were out of harmony with their Queen energy doesn't mean you have to be as well. The great thing about learning about the archetypes and how they influence your life is that you can take the best from each and you can embrace that, and you can really kind of build a life of joy and happiness whilst understanding and respecting the shadow side so they don't drag you down. When you create the harmony between the archetypes and you bring that harmony into your life, you become happier. You become more stable, you become calmer, you become wiser, you become more enjoyable to be around. You start to find that spark again, that kind of zest for life. And everything just seems to flow. It flows better. So I would really recommend that you have a look at some different archetypes. Just go onto Google and have a read about some different archetypes and see if you can figure out kind of where you are with them. Now, if you're really interested in diving into that, I do have some free tokens available for people who want to book a discovery call about coaching with me. So if it's something you're interested in, go over to my website, www.sharonobrien.co.uk/apply. Fill in the form, which is like a mini coaching session in itself. It's fabulous. Fill in the form. You'll get a link to book a discovery call, which is a completely free, no obligation call. We'll have a chat. And if kind of we think that we want to work together, if you think that I can help you, I will send you a free token so that you can go online and take a quiz and find out which of those 5 archetypes are kind of taking the lead at the moment, which ones have been suppressed, which ones are kind of maybe their way out there, completely kind of over the top and, you know, taking effect that you don't want. And you can kind of learn how to start bringing those into harmony. So I hope that's helped you. And if you want to get in touch with me, then feel free. You can email me at sharon@sharonobrien.co.uk. You can take a look at my website, sharonobrien.co.uk, or find me on Facebook, Sharon O'Brien page. That's my public page. Or you can join my group, League of Courageous Women. However you choose to contact me, that's fine. Pop a comment down below, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.